We are on. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Technician Podcast. This is probably one of my coolest ones yet. I've been doing this for a few years now, and my man Shane has flown in from New Zealand. Mm-hmm. How are you, bro? How are you feeling?
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having me on.
How was the trip over?
Fun. Quick. Only a couple of hours. I've been here quite often, actually, in the last few years. I love this place. I am going to move here.
Yeah.
Eventually, for
Can
sure.
you feel it when you get off the plane? It just feels different?
Yeah. I know because I'm very close to my family, right? My mum's end goal, her dream is to retire in Australia.
Wow.
So that's always in the back of my mind.
Anywhere in particular, like Sunny Coast, Gold Coast?
She likes Sydney, but I think she may see the bling and the lights for now, but eventually I'm sure she'd prefer the Gold Coast.
And I feel like this is the perfect segue for people to learn about you, bro, and where you've come from and who you are as a person and what you've created. But let's take it way back, man. Mm-hmm. Where'd you grow up?
My mum and dad, they came to New Zealand before me. It's been in the 80s. They came with a few $100, and they came to pick strawberries. No English. And after a couple of years, they brought me over, and we lived in South Auckland, which is a great place. I love South Auckland. Then we moved to Mount Wellington, which is still rather south. My parents, they opened a lunch bar, which was probably, as a family, our first experience in entrepreneurship and business and whatnot. I talk about it. I've only recently kind of noticed and realized this. Actually, we've been doing this a long time in our family. Yeah.
Because when you think about it, then you're going back, 20 plus years, right?
Mm-hmm. 30 years, actually.
So you were essentially, do you feel, and we were talking about this in the car, where it's like your destiny, or you were born into becoming an entrepreneur, essentially?
I think it was inevitable. I really like the fact that I got a taste of it with mum and dad. I got a taste with it with their friends who became wildly successful. I got a taste of what life became like without it, because my dad had at one point lost it all. And I like the fact that it gave me perspective. And I'm very lucky.
I like that. And it sounds like at a young age you went through seeing what the chaos is of business, right? Like the ups and downs and everything, like we spoke before. And do you feel like that almost set you up at a really young age to understand how it all works within business that way?
Yeah.
Saw the realities of it, right?
Yeah. I saw what it was like for mum and dad to leave home so early every morning, do the same thing over and over again, because it's not glorious, right? Running a lunch bar, it's almost like a half-trade cafe. They were in and out of it every morning. They'd scoop me up, pick me up, put me in the car. It's like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. I'd be sleeping in the car. They'd be prepping the lunch bar and whatnot and getting it ready. And by the time I wake up, half of their trade is probably already done, because they close around like lunchtime, right? After lunch. Great experience, though. A lot of fun as well.
Do you feel like, and they talk a lot about this with kids, and like at a young age, what we experience then defines us as we grow up, right? Did you find that you didn't get to experience much like presence with your parents growing up? Like, because they were so busy with everything?
I'm sure they certainly tried. I've got some great memories with mum and dad. I know they tried, 100%.
Yeah.
And even though we didn't go on extravagant holidays and whatnot, they made typical experiences fun, like, week to week, day to day experiences. We used to go to the Otara flea markets. Otara is a rough area of South Auckland in general. But my memories of Otara is beautiful. The markets were up, lots of food, lots of people. It's a great vibe. My memories of Otara was fantastic. And so from one perspective, I think of a lot of Aucklanders, they'd think of, being on Otara being like dangerous and whatnot, and like it being the hood. All I can remember was just great vibes, great music, great food, and running around by myself,
Oh, it's cool because I can see now, like if you come forward for a sec, how you might be in chaos within business, right? Whether you're having hard weeks, hard days, whatever, it's like someone else might be put in that same position and be like, what the fuck is this? Whereas you're like, yeah, I thrive in this sort of thing. Do you feel like that started at a really young age? You could have a different lens on different experiences compared to most people?
I think so. I've always liked to be in the hustle and the bustle of things. I've always been quite chaotic. I don't think I've ever had a strong plan as such. It's always just been throwing myself in the midst of the deep end of the pool, really. And I've always swam.
Do you think that really started to evolve when you started getting into school age and going through like high school and things like that?
Yeah, man. I was a great student. I excelled academically from primary school to intermediate to high school to college. So I graduated high school.
Oh, you're good, bro. You're good.
I graduated high school a year earlier, and I spent the last year of high school really just fucking around, doing nothing. That's when I got involved in like, I guess all that naughty, like all the gangs and the drugs and all that dark stuff I spent a couple of years, I guess tampering with.
When you go back to those memories, I feel like there's some rough memories there.
Yeah. I was naughty. But I was a high achieving academic, right?
Yep.
I was very naughty. So I started to get involved with like, gangs and I guess drugs and crime, being around the wrong people towards the end of high school. And I've had a lot of physical altercations, trauma, basically a lot of wounds and damage, which I think is self-inflicted, really.
Yep.
But they shaped me tremendously.
Do you feel that you're almost like grateful for some of the things that you experienced then to create maybe some of the resilience you have now?
I'm going to be careful with what I say because I am responsible for hurting a lot of people and I am not proud of that. But I am also grateful for how much I benefited from that at a personal growth level.
I feel like it's a pretty common thing with a lot of people that continue on to, if we talk about success, I've always said that success is subjective, right? But I guess in the general view of it, it's like financially, people doing well, that business is going well, all those things. I feel like a lot, I'll put myself in there too. I would say I'm successful.
Yep.
That we'd go through phases of really fucking hard times to get us ready for what we're about to do as we get older. And I agree, dude. I did some shit I'm not proud of. But I think having gone through that, I now know what not to do and what makes a good person, what makes a good man. Do you feel like because you've gone through those things, you've definitely learned from a lot of that, and now you've changed all those things you would have done as a younger man?
More than change, I'm so against it, right?
Yeah.
And since such a young age, I've developed such a healthy relationship with pain. Like it's to the point now where I welcome it, right? I'm chasing it, right? But before then, I've just exposed myself to so much pain, which would have hurt my mother and my father a lot and the people around me. But it benefited me so much, right?
Would you be open to speaking into some of that pain?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Is there one story or feeling that comes up a lot for you to drive you?
The number one most painful experience I've ever gone through is towards the end of high school, fist fights and whatnot, boys being boys. I got involved in a big physical altercation, and the real gangsters showed up. I'm in my late teens. These guys are like 40 plus.
Like OG gangsters with like guns and things like that?
Well, guns, yes.
Shit, okay.
And without going into too much detail into actually the violence, I lost my eyesight fully for a few months. I exposed myself to pitch black kind of blindness, darkness for around 6 months. And it is single-handedly the most painful experience I've ever been through. I'll give you an example. I couldn't go to the toilet. Well, I couldn't. So my mum would help me, every time I needed to pee or, take a shit.
Fuck, man.
You know,
Because you couldn't see what you were doing?
I just couldn't see. I couldn't see anything. It was like almost like hopelessness. Just crying, non-stop crying. If you take, I was thinking, how could this be worse? I could, other than losing my ability to listen, that was it, man. It could not get worse.
You couldn't experience life the way that you'd experienced it for, what, 17 years? Was it around 17, 18?
18, yeah, 17, 18. And because I didn't know I was going to get it back. So, yeah, it is hopelessness.
Fuck, of course. Am I blind for the rest of my life now?
Yeah. I just cried.
How the fuck did you make it through that?
I don't know. I just cried. Just cried. Every day I would just be crying. And you can't even get up and, like, you're just lying there, essentially, right?
Of course, man. Like, and back in those days, I'm assuming you weren't listening to, like, podcasts and stuff because they didn't exist, right?
How would you open that podcast up?
Yeah.
How would you even if they did exist? How could I get it on?
Unless someone's helping you the whole time, all day. But I'm assuming everyone was busy with making money and going to work, and you're left at home to basically fend for yourself.
And then, but it was a great blessing in the long run, for sure. But it was very painful. And I always talk about it like it's a gift from God, because I used to be quite physical. And now I'm not, because I'm still blind in my right eye. I'm still like partial blind in my left eye. It's a big weakness of mine. So I'm very careful with being physical.
We talk about the polarities of life and when someone has a weakness, the strengths that come from it. What were some of the strengths that you grew from that time that you felt weak?
Well, God took away my ability to throw hands and be physical, but he gifted me the opportunity to grow and learn to speak and to think and still be dangerous, which is important, but dangerous on a different level. And I think a better way to be dangerous.
I agree, bro. I think what I'm picturing is like, it's fucking wild, because I feel like I went through a very similar experience at 26.
Yeah.
My fiance at the time left me, and I destroyed my knee.
Yeah.
So I actually had to move home to my parents' home for 3 or 4 months during surgery. Laying there, my mum had to like empty my piss bottle because I couldn't move from the surgery, right?
Yeah, I know what it's like.
Yeah. So I was laying in bed, and it's almost like being forced to have to sit with yourself and feel the emotions, go through it, cry, feel despair, feel like, why the fuck me? You know, all those things. It brought out something powerful in you. And you started
there,
learning.
right?
Yeah. Like, did you start reading books and stuff, or how did you start to grow that wisdom and that knowledge that you talk about, that intelligence?
I have to thank my parents for it. I'm very thankful. So the moment I could see even just a little bit, blurry vision, the moment the doctor said, maybe we could help you. Maybe we could save the left eye a little bit. There's new technology coming out. My parents made me go to school. The moment I can like kind of figure my way around, like just made me walk to fucking school. Holy shit! You know, walking half blind to school for like 40 minutes. You just. Fuck.
Is this in South Auckland as well?
This was in East Auckland. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So I went to Pakuranga College.
Yep.
And so I'd been not at school for like a long time. Back at school, everyone's like, "Oh, we know about the story. You got beaten up and whatnot. What happened?" And being fully blind. Just getting to school was a challenge. Sitting at the front of the class, which made no difference. I couldn't see anyways. So at the front, and I'd be like this, trying to read my book. So yeah, I'm very thankful for how my parents made me wipe my own ass after I took a big shit.
Damn, man, because you're right. They could have gone and like coddled you and be like, "Oh, poor baby, how can we help? How can we save you? Stop you from your own growth." Essentially, what started to transpire after all that? How did you start to get into the person you are now?
It got worse.
Yeah, right.
I guess I shot to fame in that kind of world.
Because that was a big story, like, Shane who'd been beaten up by like OG gangsters and all the things, and it was pretty scary as a kid, man. Like, you're a kid, right? So all the kids are going to fucking talk about that.
Yeah. So basically, what led to it was, someone whipped out a pistol, and I was the only one out of a big group of boys that ran into it by myself.
When the gun got whipped out as well?
I just went all in. I thought everyone had followed me. I was wrong. If I had known no one followed me, I would have ran the other way instantly. Yeah. So I shot the flame a little bit, and then it got worse and worse. And because I had already finished high school and had university entrance, I mean, no one really cared. The school didn't care.
Yeah.
I was like supposed to be a good student now. And it got worse. So I formulated my own little gang, and my leadership skills were certainly not used correctly. And quote unquote, we hustled. We made drugs and we sold it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did that almost in a way? So Michael Mojo said a quote the other day that really hit me. It's like there's a fine line between entrepreneurs becoming drug dealers and convicts, because it's almost like that hustle culture and that mindset you need to make money, get ahead. A lot of people end up doing what they need to do, right, to get by. Did you start learning, like, the mindset that you had to build when you were doing that stuff? It taught you about, like, proper hard work, essentially?
No.
And not glorifying it in any way, obviously.
I'm going to stop this right here and just publicly say there is no excuses.
Cool.
I didn't need to do what I had to do. My life was just fine. Just fine.
I love that.
No excuses. It is the wrong thing to do. It hurts communities tremendously. It is absolutely selfish.
Beautiful.
100%. There is nothing. There is no just. It's a very ugly thing to do. I did it for personal gain.
Yep.
And I'm going to spend the rest of my days, making up for it. And it's not even about trauma and forgiving yourself. Fuck that shit. I ain't gonna forgive myself.
Yep.
I'm gonna make an impact.
Do you use it to drive you to be better?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Which is huge, bro, because a lot of people don't talk about it that way. So that shows me exactly where you're at as a man, which is awesome. So thank you. I guess going through that phase and coming out the other side, how long did that sort of last for?
So me and some of those boys who are my boys still today, and we've all cleaned ourselves up.
Yep.
We did it for a short couple of years.
Early 20s?
Early 20s.
Yep.
We lived very lavishly, fast-paced. Don't do this. Crime is never a good idea, ever. There is no justification. It doesn't matter how hard your life is. Like,
there's always a better choice.
Well, because I live in New Zealand. This is Australia. How bad is poverty? Come on, man. We're all privileged.
It's a good point.
We are all privileged on all ends of the spectrum. It's just not good enough. So I guess wrapping it all up, drive, it's not something I'm proud of.
Yeah. And I love the way you spoke about it in the car too. I could tell that it wasn't like, because I see a lot of people getting on socials now, bro, like who have been in that space. And this is where the question came from, because I see a lot of them talk about, I learned this, doing this, this, and this, but you've just straight up gone, nah, fuck that. Like, it was not what I needed to do.
Selfish.
Yeah.
It's absolutely selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I love that.
Fueled by insecurity, fueled by, there's nothing positive comes from this, right? You're just a young guy from the hood, right? You watch all these music videos, right? Cars, girls, all these things. And you're like, it's, I guess to some degree, hip hop culture, which I love and I identify with, has glorified to some degree.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Back then,
it has changed heaps. Hey, yeah, yeah. Because I don't know about you, but like one of my favorite rappers is J. Cole.
Yep.
Very from the heart lyricist. Like talks about the shit that his culture goes through and his race, what they have to deal with. So, knowing, as you said, and from the little that I know, because I can't speak from a lived experience from what you had in Auckland, but I'm assuming that's something that's quite rampant over there.
Yeah,
especially
today.
South Auckland.
Still today.
Yeah,
still today. Yeah.
And most people, it's like, and as you said, bro, even touching on this, it's like it is essentially like laziness, right? It's like rather than taking the path of picking a hard, like say working at a job, which you would have done, I'm assuming after that, worked your ass off to get to where you are now. It's like taking the quick and easy way.
100%. It goes quite deep though.
Yeah.
Like it's a social class kind of thing where, because we are coming from South Auckland or from any parts of the world that's slightly more, I guess, impoverished, your lack of financial means, so you gravitate towards quick ways of getting it. But once you start to climb the ladder and actually understand, money isn't even real, right? It's not even a thing. It's not even a priority, really.
Yeah.
Education and these things are much, much more important, right? But anyways, it's because where we know what we know, come from where we come from. Our parents didn't know any better. And when you're young, you try to find the fastest way to get there.
Of course. I saw you do something the other day with some young kids. I can't remember what it was called, but I think there was a video of you like showing quite a bit of emotion and seeing these kids wanting to do better and be better. Whereabouts was that?
That was in Otara. So Kiaroha campus is a college as such, high school. I got to meet them. We were doing the Lantern Festival, and I used their car park, their field to park my car, and I was always the first person there and the last person to leave.
Nice.
On the first day I parked my car there, a young guy came and he gave me a hand. And it's quite far from where the event is held. And there was like heavy ice, bags of ice. And his teacher, Brady, said, "Hey, Potter, go help him." And he came and he walked with me and he helped me. So anyways, I got to know him. And he said, my teacher is my hero. I love my school. This is a young guy. I never said this when I was his age. And I was like, tell me more. You have to tell me more.
Yeah, why? Yeah,
what the hell?
Yeah.
So he told me about his life and where he's at and his family, big family, which is very normal in South Auckland. And that he, lives very far and he catches the bus just to go to this high school. And he was telling me that the purpose of the parking in the field was to fundraise for the Kapahaka group to go compete in South Island for the Nationals. I was like, fuck, I must help. And so I'd make sure I parked. It was pretty far. There were other options to park, as I found later on. I made sure I parked every day, and I was the last person to leave. And on the last night, I was coming back, wrapping up. The last night of the Lantern Festival, I was with my mom, and they had waited for me, and they rounded up like 40, 50 kids. And there were spotlights, and they did the kapahaka for me.
Oh, shit.
And it's quite emotional. I was like, oh, shit, I have to come back and do something. So straight away next week, I got the voice together, shot a video, go give a little page and whatnot. And awesome experience. I have to thank them. They gave me so much energy. And they gave me purpose as well. I've been looking.
Cool. I feel, knowing what I just said to you before about even where we're sitting right now, for anyone listening, Nambour on the Sunshine Coast here, like you would think Sunshine Coast is like a place of just beautiful homes, beach, everyone's good, everyone's happy, But man, we're sitting in one of the biggest places for child homelessness.
I didn't know. You told me before, and I didn't know that, right?
It's fucking wild. Like, because you see this area, right? It seems all right. Like, it seems like everything's pretty sweet. Busy shops, like people are getting around, cafes, and yet literally around the corner from here, like fucking 60 meters away, there's kids sitting under a tree homeless.
Wow.
It makes no sense. Like you said before, how countries like New Zealand, Australia, places like the Sunshine Coast, how do we even have that happening still? But I love that you as a person now have the ability to make impact as well. Like, how does that feel as a person to be able to help change community and culture within your area?
I'm very lucky. That's all I have to say. I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to become who I am, to be relatable, to go back and have these kids listen. I think that's the big challenge. A lot of these kids, all I can say is I'm very lucky and very fortunate. I will try the best I can. I may not be able to save all of them, but if I can save one out of a group of 50, I'll take it.
I think you've already done it, bro. Honestly, I think you've impacted me, and I've been watching you for a couple of months, so, and I already feel different having spoken to you today. So I know when I meet someone special and that they're destined to do big things. So I just want to say thank you, first of all.
Thank you.
But knowing that you are going to impact, especially with this podcast and your story, can you take us back to your 20s after you've been through all that shit? You come out the other side, University's done. What is it that really got you started? And I guess, can you give some insights for anyone that's in their 20s right now, wanting to create business, wanting to get into that? What sort of mindset did you have to adopt to really start growing in your 20s?
So I had to humble myself and understand that, because I had huge criminal convictions, a great list of convictions, that it was going to take 10 times the amount of work to be the same as the average person. That's the one thing my mum said to me. You're going to have to work 10 times as much just to be the same.
Because you set yourself back, sort of thing, or?
I couldn't get a job, man.
Yeah.
10 times as hard just to be normal. If you want to excel, I'm not sure, Shane. It's what that, how many times you're going to have to work more than the average person. So I accepted that. And on Home D, I started to hustle already. So what I would do is, my uncle owned a big computer, I guess, brand, computer hardware brand across New Zealand. He's actually very, very successful. I'm very lucky to have him around me when I was young as well, right? So I would, before dropshipping was a thing, before, this e-commerce thing, right?
It's the young e-com bros now, hey?
I would buy cheap wholesale rates, software, RAM, and whatnot, and I'd relist them on TradeMe, which is like our kind of resell website, right? And I'd move stock. I might only profit $20-$30 per item, but there was a lot of items going on.
Adds up pretty quick.
And then I was installing RAM. I found RAM as a product that was actually really cheap to buy wholesale. Very easy to install. You just plug it in.
Literally.
You literally plug it in, right?
Yeah.
Takes, like a minute or two if you're fast.
Yep.
You just unscrew the box, plug it in. And it had the highest margin at a product level. And then I could also increase the margin if I added installation for people. And because I was on Home D, I couldn't go anywhere. So I'd make sure people would come to my house and upgrade RAM. And it did help people's computers. It was really easy. Right, RAM would definitely make a computer faster.
Bro,
right?
I just updated my Mac to the new one with more RAM, and it's a fucking experience. It's different. It is.
And man, I moved RAM. And so I was on Home D, moving computers in and out of my house. And that's where it started. But after that, I went and got a job.
Gotcha. During that time of being the RAM man, what was it that, did you start to see further down the track what you could turn this bit, or not that business, but business in general into?
No, I was really young, man. I didn't know much about investing or whatnot. I was just saving my cash. And I set myself my first goal, which is to earn $100,000 a year, ASAP with a job. Very simple. And it was hard to get a job to begin with. So I first had to get a damn job and then obviously climb my way up. And so I found a little tech company that was making no money. And I joined as a technical guy, solutions, kind of architect stuff, tech stuff, because I had graduated from uni with information systems, so Infosys as a major. But that business didn't make any money. So very quickly I was like, give me the telephone book, fuck it. Give me the telephone book. Let me just dial.
Went into sales.
Let me just dial. I was hungry. And I grew that small company quite quickly. And the biggest sale we had that really revolutionized that business and rose me up the ranks was I landed NBN in Australia as a client.
Holy shit.
It was a name, a number, and email address. And it was cold, completely cold.
Yeah, you didn't have an insight into this is going to be the next big thing. You were just like, fuck, I'll call this person.
Fully cold. And very quickly I flew over to Australia. And that's how I stayed in Australia for a bit, But that's where I always tell people I got most of my gains in Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you build your sales muscle? Was it just doing it over and over and again?
Yeah. There was a bit of YouTube back then, and I'd watch self-help videos on YouTube, and I'd just practice on the phone, off the phone, in the car, in the shower. I can give you my pitch.
100%, hit us. Sell me.
So the introduction I thought was the most important part, right? Because nobody really wanted to talk to you.
Yep.
And it's just, hey, it's Shane. I'm calling from Product Flow. How are you today? You just wait. Silence.
Hi, Shane.
And I knew very quickly that that wait was the most critical part of that introduction call, because you want to take power of the conversation.
Okay.
And you lead it. And you if you can get 5 or 6 yeses, soft yeses, then or agreements as such, then you can ask a question. Hey, would you like me to help?
Ooh. Okay, so it's like that unconscious, like, yep,
Yeah, that's cool.
yes, yep. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then how long would the sales call normally last for?
I'd try to meet either online or offline ASAP, but not long. You want to keep it short. Why does someone want to talk to a stranger for more than a couple of minutes? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Just get to the point.
Get to the point. Yeah.
Would you sell them on the benefit of what you guys do straight away?
No. You should see me watch. Before that, I was at PB Tech at my uncle's business selling computers. You know how there's like RAM and CPUs and numbers?
Yeah.
I just tell people, it's fast. It's good. That's great. You'll like it.
It's so true. Why do people have to get so technical with everything, eh?
Yeah.
This is what you need. It'll solve your problems.
Yeah. It's fast. It's really fast.
Yeah. Take that in. Anyone listening right now, I think this is such a key point, is that why the fuck does everyone overcomplicate everything? Life can be pretty simple, right?
When you're selling someone things, it has to be relative to them. So it might be a fast computer. They don't care about the numbers of the computer. If they can save 30 minutes a day based on efficiency on that computer, that's 30 minutes with their kids, on a boat, or whatever. That's what you're selling, right? Yeah, that's what you're selling.
Time is probably the most precious commodity in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're saving people time, and this is something I learned the other day, especially with mentoring and what I do, it's like if I can help someone become someone in a short amount of time, they're going to pay me over the next guy who takes 2 or 3 times the amount of time.
Results driven.
Results driven, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're going through there, you go from Ramsman to the salesman. What started to transpire after that when you really started to help grow that company?
It was quite an interesting experience. So I did get my 100,000 a year pretty quickly.
Like the first year?
Maybe 2.
Shit.
And then I became an executive in the business, and so we grew really quickly. There were ups and downs with staff and whatnot, but eventually we got bought out. Okay, which is fantastic, right? You get paid, right? And whilst I was making that high salary, my salary did still keep increasing past 100. When you're in your early 20s and you're making like from a job, if you're 100,000 a year, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And this is 10 years ago. It's not like 200,000 or 300,000 today.
So
10 years ago, it's a lot of money back then.
Would that then be like $500,000 sort of thing back then?
I don't know what it's relative to, but it's quite
living good.
Living well, yeah.
Were you doing any investments or anything back then as well?
Yep. So I bought my first rental property at 21.
Shit.
But this is before the job and everything. I was still at uni. So I was working 2 jobs and I was studying full-time as well. And
damn, man.
Like minimum wage jobs, by the way.
Yep.
And then I started to grow my, property portfolio, which is come and gone.
Yeah.
Which is come and gone. So I started investing really early, which is great. Less about, I want to just quickly throw this out there.
Yeah.
Buy your investment property early. Don't worry about the gains about the property, but just the experience to do it, because it's pretty difficult when you're young.
I bet.
And then you get to like meet lawyers and the bank and other stakeholders. Like, I don't know. I bet the lender, the agents. You get to deal with insurance. It's just hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. That is the biggest, I guess, takeaway from buying an investment property when you're young. You need to get it done. It's not going to make you rich.
As they all say on TikTok, it's like, if you want to build your... It's like, nah, it ain't like that, son.
That ain't real. Yeah.
Damn, okay. And it makes sense, because something I heard not too long ago was, I think it was Jim Rohn. I don't know if you've heard of him before, but he was saying, become a millionaire not for the money, but for the person you must become. Like that hit me like a ton of bricks. He wasn't focused on the outcome of, the numerical numbers. It was like, how hard do I have to work? Who do I have to meet? What sort of network has to start happening? And I'm assuming that's the sort of things you started building as you become the salesman. You're learning more, going through the test of time. When did it really start to click where you were like, okay, let's take this to the next level?
Dude, I'm going to give it to you real, right? I'm constantly looking for the next level every bloody week, mate. Yeah. There is no moment for me. So, like, the moment I had 100K base salary, what is it going to take me to do 150, 200, 250, 300? So I've never really had a break or a turning point. I've always just thought, man, I'm really lucky to be given the second chance at life after coming out of jail and making these big mistakes and hurting all these people around me. Shit, man. Just run as fast as you can, boy.
Damn, it really is like that. They talk about simplicity and gratitude, and anything else is a bonus, right? So what drives you to keep showing up now?
I have a bigger play, yeah. And I want to make an impact, I guess, leave a mark on this world. Business is great. I love it. It's fun. But it all is part of my own personal development journey. It's really easy to look at my life and say, oh, man, he loves money, he loves toys. And it's probably very superficial. But if you really get to know me, I actually don't give a fuck.
I'll back that, bro. I've known you for fucking 4 hours, you know, and we've been talking in the car and obviously just getting to know each other. And I can see that. I can feel that. I know when people are talking shit. And for anyone listening, like, the conversations we've had this morning have just been like almost like esoteric. It's been like on a whole deeper level. But where does that even come from? Like, were you always like this as a kid and everything, you know, coming through now to then? Or do you think that moment that you had of like the near-death experience and like the loss of everything, that made you go internally and start to really think on a deeper level?
It's a journey, man. I don't think anyone has that one experience as such.
Yeah.
It's a series of small catalysts along the way.
Yeah.
And you find yourself more and more and more and more throughout every, I guess, hiccup. And I'm still, so I realize this now. I'm self-aware. So now I'm looking around thinking, oh, where are the next hiccups? Give me more problems. Give me more problems. I need to grow faster. I need to grow more. This is not enough. I need to grow more. Give me more problems. Give me more problems. So I'm always looking for friction. Always looking for challenges. Always looking for pain. I'm looking for it now because I feel like I'm not growing fast enough.
And if you're not growing, you're dying, right?
You're not living.
Yeah. It's like any living organism in the world. If it literally, like trees, plants, whatever, if they're not growing and evolving, they're going the opposite way. So I guess when you started to really get into, for anyone listening now, Shane's going to be quite humble about it, but Sumthin Dumplin's it's a dumpling empire in New Zealand. When that started, bro, was that when the big challenges really started for you as well within business?
Yeah. I started it, and I was coming out of a relationship. When I say I was going broke, like, I mean, I only had $40,000-$50,000 worth of cash. I did have rental properties, but obviously they're highly leveraged and there's mortgages and whatnot. So I was like feeling really tight. And
your expenses would have been quite high and stuff.
I didn't work for a year, man. I just fucked around for a
year. Just enjoying the money?
Enjoying the money. Had a big payout. I traveled everywhere and, man, I blew away close to $1 million in about a year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What was the best experience during that time?
Not worth it. I don't want to talk about it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it. So I blew all my money down to my last little bit of cents. Relationship was on the rocks. Just had a new young child. And it was that, I guess it had to work. I had to fucking work. I'd be screwed, right? You know, how many things could I sell? You know? So I opened that little store in the heart of the city. The city used to be very vibrant with my mum.
Was this in Auckland?
In Auckland,
yep.
CBD. And it just really took off. I mean, the first day, I think I was outside with plates and whatnot, trying to get people to come in. But within a few days, my queues were maybe 50 meters long.
Holy shit.
I think I was the busiest store, maybe, in the Southern Hemisphere for a bit.
Bro, how did that feel?
Out of New Zealand.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. What made you different?
The X factor? Without being arrogant, maybe me, maybe my mom.
Yeah.
Maybe the people.
Yeah.
It was handmade. It was all over the news, and like it lasted that queue wasn't a week long or a few days long. It lasted for years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so, I mean, it wasn't 50 meters for years. It would die down to maybe 15 meters. We had a 10, 15 meter queue for years, for 2 years, year and a half, 2 years.
Damn, man. Did you have to maintain that, or was it just naturally happening? Because I love your marketing. Like, the way you guys look, the way you present it, everything's really clean, right? And it stands out. Like, I think, did I see in some of these shops there's like rap graffiti and stuff like that in there?
Yeah, there's graffiti.
Like posters and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like there's that hip hop kind of vibe going. So I put our branding around what it means to identify as a Chinese individual in New Zealand. For some reason, I see this phenomenon across the world as well. Chinese people, Asians, hip hop, it's just... Do you see it here? It just ties in. Everyone
makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know why.
Interesting. Maybe potentially my Asian background in the Filipino, maybe that's why I love it so much too. And basketball, bro.
It's just what it is, right? So I developed this brand around myself, really, just what I liked. Yeah, and the shops were good. They were busy, and we traded really well. At one point, I think at our peak from one store, that was 30 square meters. It's smaller than this room.
Fuck.
All right, we were churning, doing 400, 450 customers by lunch, like at the end of lunchtimes. Like individual dockets, right?
All handmade
dumplings. We had roles where there was one person I remember in the store back then that had one job, and it was just give the food to someone by shouting. You don't walk to anyone, it's too small. You just call the number and give them the food.
Yep.
And they'll just be shouting numbers for like 4 hours. And it was still difficult because there was so much food.
Were you ever that person doing that as well?
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
And every day it was like war. There's 7 or 8 of us, and if we're all like standing like this, just absolute war. Everyone's swearing at everybody.
Hot as fuck in there?
Hot as fuck. My mum's swearing at this person swearing at my mum. We're swearing at everyone's swearing at everybody.
Are you swearing in Mandarin or English?
Everything. Like, and then it was a real show for people as well. Like, no one had ever seen anything like it. And we're just throwing dumplings out, and people loved it. And it was good. It is good food as well. So yeah, and that's where it all began. But then COVID came.
Bro, I'd love to touch on some of the things, because I know there's a lot of business owners that listen to this podcast as well, entrepreneurs, all the things. What are some mindset things you had to bring in as a leader to make sure that those people in that shop made sure the shop stayed with the quality that it did? Did you feel like you had to keep the team on track, or were they all very self-led people?
It's something I'm still working on today.
Yeah, nice.
It's so easy to say hire a good manager. Well, I haven't seen anyone else figure that one out by hiring a good manager.
Yep.
It doesn't work. You have to be there. Yeah.
So do you go around to all the stores?
Well, I have like different family members. I do have good managers.
Yep.
But my managers today aren't just managers. They've been with me for 6 years.
Yeah.
Like we celebrate like overseas trips together. We are like family at this point, right? So it's different. You cannot hire your way and pay someone to fix your problems.
Yeah. One thing I hear a lot is, Gary Vee's main thing is like, hire slow, fire fast. Is that something that you would take on?
No, I hire fast and I fire fast.
Because is it a bit of turnover being in like fast food?
It is the industry.
Yeah. Because it's pretty common through it all. What is some traits in a person that you see that you're like, you're someone who I could help, or someone that I could take on in this business? Like, because I know we talked a bit about before, when you see intelligence in someone, you're like, yeah, I could work with this.
So my business is now filled with protein people. What does that mean?
What was it? Protein people?
Okay, so I have this analogy, right? 2 types of people in this world. Some people like cookies. Some people like protein powder. You give the cookie guy protein powder, man, he's not going to be comfortable. He might tell you he's comfortable. He's like, yeah, man, I want to improve. I want protein powder. I want to work on myself. But deep down, it's not what he wants. He'll leave very quickly. But there are guys out there that want protein powder. They want to improve. And those are all the ones that I've employed. If you go to my stores today, everybody is jacked.
Yeah, right. Because it's a literal physical representation of how they think about themselves, right?
I tell my boys, if you want a pay rise, you want opportunity,
get more jacked.
Get more jacked. If you cannot even figure that out, and your own health and fitness, which is so easy, to be honest, if you cannot figure that out, don't come to me for more complex issues or problems to solve. Just figure yourself out first. It's definitely good for you. I get no benefit from that.
Yeah.
I'll help you. I'll teach you. I'll guide you. But But you must figure that out for yourself first. Otherwise, don't expect other things. You're way too, you're not there yet. Yeah.
I like that because I watch, I love Andy Elliott stuff. Do you watch a lot of Andy Elliott?
I don't know who he is.
So Andy's on socials, on Instagram, blowing up right now because he's like the car sales guy, but he's a very high-end sales guy who will call someone out in the crowd and be like, stand up, take your shirt off. And if the dude's got like a belly or love handles, he'd be like, why the fuck do you look like that? And he'll just call him straight out. And he's doing it with love because he knows that person can do better, right?
100%.
And I think we've become too soft on that shit. Like I said to you in the car, I let myself get fat as fuck last year. And I was down on myself. I was like, I need to change my identity. I need to shift this. And within like 4 months or so, I've lost 10 plus kilos and the healthiest and strongest I've been in a long, long time. Do I feel better? Hell yeah. Am I more successful in my business? Yes, I am. Right? So there's only positives that come from it. So I'm assuming fitness and health and, being jacked has been something you've had in your life your whole time. Do you think you'd ever get over it?
Well, I don't prioritize being like big. This is the smallest I've ever been. I don't prioritize anymore. Strong is strong, right? So I look at it differently. If I'd have known you were getting fat or fat back then, if I'd known you, I would just be like, yo, you're fat.
Sort your shit out. Yeah. So this is what I had, bro.
You're fat. Like, what's going on?
So my best mate, Sammy Raothava, shout out Sammy. I was at one of the retreats, like the men's retreats, and he's like, Trav, fuck, you're fat. But I took it as like, damn, you're right. Yeah. I wasn't like, whoa, what do you mean? It was, because one of the brothers was like calling me forward.
Yeah.
Be better.
Yeah.
And because I know, like, from being bigger, there was health issues as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I had fucking indigestion every day.
Walking would have been, you just struggle to walk and breathe.
Literally,
right?
bro. Yeah.
I know.
It's like bending over to dump too much shoes up. It'll be like,
I know.
And yet when you're in it, you don't notice it until someone that cares about you goes, hey, you've let yourself go.
These are real friends. People that prioritize your well-being over the friendship, because the relationship would benefit that person.
Yep.
Right. Probably more than it benefit you. I mean, it benefits both parties, right?
Yeah.
The friendship benefits both parties, but your well-being only benefits you.
Yep.
And he put that as a priority over the friendship. So he put you before him.
Yeah, I love that. My fiance did it for me as well. She did it in a kinder way, but she would definitely mention, it's like, hey, babe, like, probably need to sort your shit out. Things are getting a bit wild here. So, and I'm grateful for that stuff, man, because in the past, because I was so insecure as a younger guy, anyone that would, I would take it as criticism. Yeah. It's like, nah, they're just trying to make you be better. Yeah. So I love that. And that's, even from that, I'm assuming that then is a ripple effect through probably the customers that you get. You probably get a lot of people that like are fitness orientated, still come in to enjoy some fucking dumplings, right? After the gym or whatever.
Yep.
And that's the culture you've built.
I have a fantastic team. The boys that have stayed on with me, I have staff that, this is hospital, people don't stay, right?
Yeah.
I've got boys that have stayed with me for 6 years. I give an example. So there's Joe that's on my team. He's going to have his own business soon with me. I'm not even sure what Joe's job is anymore. So he comes as he pleases, leaves as he pleases. He does everything. He can do everything. Whether it's making a dumpling, driving the delivery truck, frying dumplings, serving customers, whatever needs to be done, right? Whatever errand, fixing this, fixing that, he just can do everything. And I can see why he loves his job so much, because it's like owning your own business. You just come in, you just freestyle, right?
Yeah.
You leave when it's done. He's always having a great time.
Making money,
making good money, right? And then there's growth potential for him as well. It's the closest thing to being an entrepreneur, really, for a young guy.
Is he young too?
He's pretty young, yeah.
Yeah, wow. And I think even just being around you for this day, this morning, I think you've got this really infectious energy that makes you want to be better. Have you always had that?
Oh, I don't actually. Now that you've called it out, probably not. It's only come in the last few years when I love myself more.
Ooh. Why did that shift happen?
I think just coming of age. For example, there was a period in my life I was like tattooing myself everywhere, right? And I talk about it this all the time. Like, my tattoos are all of insecurities and pain, and So I guess when you're young and you don't love yourself, you try to look tough and find all these different ways to protect yourself with armor, and so there's tattoos and piercings and everything's visual on the outside, right? You'll throw hands and it'll be physical, right? But then when you start to really come of age and truly love yourself and find yourself, everything becomes like internal, right? And I started to have a stronger and deeper dialogue with myself over the last, well, I've been chipping at it for so long, right? But eventually it got to the point where I know I'm the fucking man now. Like, I love myself. Yeah. And I love other people. I want to help. I want to give. And so there was a bit of a turning point, I guess.
I love that. Is there any tattoo on you right now that has a big significance to you that stands out straight away? I love the monkey one. I want to hear the story on that one.
Yeah. But my favorite tattoos though are like quite simple. Well, I like Rosa, which is like the middle name of my daughter. Her name is Amelia Rosa Liu.
Beautiful.
I have like X and O. It just means kisses and hugs. Everyone needs a bit of love.
Yeah, of course.
But the Monkey King, I think is something I've always felt very strong towards. It's a long story, but basically, he's like an anti-hero. He's chaos, but chaos with love, and anarchy, but for the good of everybody, the world. And so basically, the story is he turns heaven upside down because he felt like the gods were unfair to the people, and he literally destroys heaven. Right.
Oh, like Kratos, God of War.
Yeah. So he's chaotic, but with a big heart and greater good, and so I like that story for the people.
Bro, I love that because growing up, I thought a good man was a nice guy.
Yeah.
And how wrong was I?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about it, when you look into movies, like I love movies, right? They talk about this analogy where, you know, when they talk about women love the bad boys, the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that. What they love is that there's this man that's willing to do whatever it takes. They feel protected. They feel like this man would go to war for them so that they feel safe to do their own thing. A lot of the time, sometimes it's toxic. Mm-hmm. You know, they get into the wrong partnerships because he's big and scary looking and all the other things, but they don't know behind the scenes. But what happens in movies is that, and men especially too, we love the idea of gangsters. So Christelle and I remember, dude, literally, was it end of last year or something, we started watching Sopranos? Holy shit. I've never fallen in love with men so much. Yeah. They were doing some bad shit, right? Classed as, you know, some bad, evil shit. But there was something about the way that Tony Soprano led his family and the way he showed up as a man that I had so much respect for.
Yeah.
Like, there was this moment where another one of the gangsters on a opposing mafia talked shit about his daughter.
Yeah. And
he fucking rattled this dude. Yeah. And I respected the hell out of that. So yes, people might think, oh, what do you mean? Tony Soprano was a murderer and all these other things, but you're missing the qualities that I saw. I saw this man that loved his family, would do anything for them, do the things. But there was parts of as well where it's like, well, like we said before, what makes up a good man? What is evil? What is good? You know, who gets to dictate that as well? I guess the law with a lot of things.
It's all perspective, right? But you nailed it, I think, when you say nice and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between nice guys and good guys. Nice guys.
They're sneaky, bro.
Yeah, man. How do you think backstabbing, what do you think backstabbing looks like? That's a smile. How do you think someone can hurt you? It's being nice.
They don't be real either. They don't talk that deeper shit.
Yeah.
They don't tell you how they actually feel. And they go and whinge about you behind your back. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, and that shit usually comes full circle. You hear about it, right? So, I mean, even talking about that, being the person you are and the wealth you've created and the success you've created, for anyone else listening, and I'm sure everyone's going on their own journey and they're experiencing, you know, the loss of good friends because they start to see insecurities and they're like, oh, fuck Shane, look at how much money he's making now. I'm going to start talking to him, whatever it might be. How do you now keep the circle that you keep so well? Do you have to sort of, I'm assuming new people try to come into your life and be like, hey, bro, what's up? Like, do you find yourself very reserved, or are you able to bring in new people into your life?
I think I give lots of people chances, and I bring lots of new people into my life.
Well, you gave me a chance straight away.
You feel good energy, right? And in particular, I give time and energy to younger people, strangers. And you have to make peace with human nature. What I mean by that is, from your past, people, friends close to you, they'll come and go, man. They're going to be the ones that critique and have the most to say, both positive and negative. It's not even personal. It's actually just human nature.
Yep.
Don't read into it. I still deal with it today. The social media thing that I've only been doing a few months, right? Like I think I've grown pretty well and I've released like 40, 50 videos in a month.
It's been wild, bro. It's sick.
And I suck. Right? I think that's what people like, though. They like the fact that I suck and they see me try. But anyways.
He's trying so hard. It's cool. Oh, I think you're killing it, bro. Because be honest, it's authentic.
Thank you.
It's not some curated bullshit. It's just, let's set up a camera and watch Shane talk to this dude and eating food. It's fucking cool. I actually prefer that content over someone taking the time to edit it and do all this other bullshit. Okay. It's like, I know when you post a video, it's going to be something authentic.
Yep.
I actually really liked when you set up a live when you were in one of the stores. That was cool. Because my partner would know this. My mate just showed me this new show on YouTube called Rami the Great, I think it is.
Okay.
And he buys and sells Nikes. So all he does is set up his camera in the storefront. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, what do you got for me today? Oh, yeah, some Yeezys, all this other stuff. And he'll offer how much we're going to buy them for. And then there's this back and forward. Dude, I'll sit there and watch that for hours. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Chris, you sat down and watched it too with me, don't lie. It's interesting, right? So, and I think what it is, it's real.
Yeah. More negotiation, right?
Negotiation, deals, bro.
Yeah.
Like seeing them, how much are these guys going to get for these shoes? I've seen these Jordans before. Yeah. Fuck, 150, and you start to see that. And I think that's what really drew me to you, especially in the video I saw of the dude with the beanie on and stuff, right? He just met you somewhere and was like, what do you do? How much do you make?
Yeah.
Which you talked about a deal, bro, that you made. What was one of the biggest deals you made? It was like 140K or something like that?
Fastest, not the biggest.
Fastest. Okay.
Fastest deals.
Was that in real estate or something?
Yeah. So it's like chopping up a commercial site, and I had like a part to play in it, and we're negotiating the cost of my time, basically my energy.
Yeah.
And we're on the site. I was like, open the plans, store right now. Okay. We're in the rubble. I'll do it right now. And then just back and forth, 20 minutes. I'm like, this is how much I want. He's like, okay. I'm like, sweet. All right, leave it to me.
Damn.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
I just took nothing.
Yeah, it's just like,
I need to work now. I need to like deliver now, right? And then that opened more doors and like, yeah.
Can you then say what your biggest deal is?
I've done like flips here and there, I'll share with some. There might be New Zealanders watching this, right?
Yeah.
In New Zealand, there are a type of house that's made from plaster, but New Zealand is moist. So plaster houses have now been banned for lending. They can never sell well. Not many people in the world can buy real estate without borrowing, but some can. In particular, if you get together with a group of 4 or 5 guys and you just cash buy. I got 100, you got 100, you got 100. 500, we take it.
Yep.
And you just buy that. A lot of the time it is leaky, but that plaster house. Over here, plaster is fine because it's dry.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you rip that plaster off and you put weatherboard, which is wood, and you relist that. Now it's open to the entire market to sell. Right? So anyone can buy it, right?
Mm.
And let's say you have now opened the doors for more buyers tremendously, right? And then with a rising property market, let's say property prices are going up.
I get the idea.
Yeah, 7 figures, sure.
Damn, man, from like 100K buy-in.
I mean, you have to split it and there's tax and whatnot, but I'm just giving you an example, right? There's so many deals out there.
Yeah. Did you learn that stuff just by doing it? Or did you have someone like a mentor showing you how to do that?
No, you just see opportunity, right? You take it. Yeah.
Fuck, you speak about it as if it's like common knowledge, hey? And it's like people will be hearing, I get it because I'm like, fuck yeah. But people listening will be like, what do you mean see opportunities and take it? Like, what do you think separates people that think like that to the ones that don't?
I think you have to be not as attached to money to take these deals, take these opportunities, because they are big risks, right? Yeah. They are big risks. It's not for everybody. So let's just go back a step and say, like, I don't think everyone should do it.
Yeah.
But if you are in the position mentally to take these risks, like the next car, the next watch is not going to make you happy, you know. But these deals are so exciting. You know, you go to auction, or whether you're investing in property or doing whatever, you know, and you go there and it's like game time, and you're there at the auction, and like you have a budget. For example, I love these kind of scenarios. You have a budget, and you have a number that you don't want to go above.
Yep.
You don't want anyone in the room to know. It's like playing poker, man.
Yeah.
Do you want to come in soft?
Yeah.
Really early? Do you want to come in late? You want to come in like you're made of money?
What do you do?
This is giving secrets away, man. I have a thing where if I put my hand up, I don't put my hand down.
Okay.
If I'm going to put my hand up, it's not coming down.
There's no bluffs. It's like, I'm going for this thing.
Well, in an auction, once it reaches a price and I feel like my hand should go up, you're not gonna beat me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is my house.
Oof. Yeah. I felt that when you said that too. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
I feel like with that energy in the room, you almost make them not want to go against you, almost.
There's little quirks. Like I'm a cheeky bugger, right? So I'll come in acting like I can't speak English or whatever. I'm like some random offshore.
Do you dress a certain way, like change up the style?
Yeah, I'll come in a little bit fob and like, I'll just... So like there's a couple of scenarios where I'll just be sitting there, my legs crossed, my phone out, I wouldn't even look. But I'd make that loud, like a loud version of keeping to myself.
Yeah.
And I started with my phone out like don't even care. And then boom, my hand will go up. It's not coming down.
Where'd he come from?
Yeah. And they're like, fuck. That fucking Asian guy. I'm like, that's me.
Dude, I actually, just on that, bro, what was that like, or what is it like being in New Zealand, Chinese? Do you cop much projection around that?
Have I been called a fucking Asian before? Is that what you're trying to ask?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, you just like take it on the chin now?
It's much better. I sell it now though. Like it's... When you're young and people look, closet races everywhere, right?
Of course.
When you're young, you experience it and you feel a little bit down about it. But then if you're smart, you take it and you sell it. It's actually quite a strength. Like, I know I'm coloured. I know. Yeah.
Oh, bro, I copped it, and I'm not even really. Like, I used to get picked on because I had big lips. He was like, "What do you mean, bro?" Like, I look back at that, and I looked way more Asian when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like super Filipino.
Yeah,
I've obviously grown into my features now, but yeah, man, I used to get picked on heaps for it, and I just didn't know how to stand up for myself. But it definitely unconsciously built resilience within me. It was like I knew people were going to talk shit about me at some point. So, and especially being in this game. Is that still recording now? Someone just tried to call. Cool. Being in this game, podcasting, showing up on socials, I'm copping projections galore, bro. You know, like, have you started to, now that you're out there more, are you getting comments from people being like, who's this fucking guy? Look at this.
I think it's almost armor today.
Yeah.
Right. It's pretty hard to hate me because I am of color. Look at me. Like it's pretty. I don't even look like privilege. I don't look it.
It's like the underdog story. You can see it physically.
I don't even look like it. I don't sound like it. It's pretty hard to throw shade at me.
Yeah.
It takes some effort. People do, but it takes some effort.
Yeah, I have to agree with that because I haven't copped too much on my journey. And when it does come, in the beginning it was like, oh, but I'm just trying to help everyone. And that's okay. You can be trying to do the best you can, but someone's going to see it as a shit thing. You're taking the piss with your coaching. How can you charge people that much? And I feel like you said, it's like that. It is what it is. It's going to come, right? So you get used to it eventually. Dude, I'd love to step into something I call topics with the tech.
Okay.
Now, this is like, your story is incredible. but I know there's a wealth of knowledge sitting under that hat. So I really want to make sure the listener gets as much as they can from you, value-wise. And there's just a few topics, bro, and then like quick-fire questions.
Okay.
One thing would be building a resilient business. What are some things you could share with people on how they would do that?
If you give it 100% effort, it will not fail. That's a secret. If you truly try hard enough, it is impossible to fail.
Fuck, it's so simple, right? It truly is. Like, I know this podcast, I'm going to keep going no matter how long I need to until it blows up. And I'm going to keep going again. It's like there's a stat that says most people don't make it past episode 3, and then whoever makes it past that doesn't get past episode 21. I'm at episode 98, I believe, with you.
Well done.
Thank you, bro.
Well done.
Right, so is there anything statistics-wise like that with business you're in? Like, is there like most people don't make it past 5 years and all that sort of shit?
There must be some statistic where, like, most businesses fail within 12 months, 24 months, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
It's never the business idea. It's never the product. It's 100% that it's just because the guy gave up, right? That is 100% the reason businesses fail. Yeah. Because the guy gave up. He just didn't try hard enough. I'm sorry.
No, it's
he
true.
Didn't try hard enough.
Yeah.
That's all there is.
How do you have so much resilience yourself to keep going?
Man, I wish I could give an answer to that. I guess I just really, really want it. But my version of saying I want it is so different, I think, to so many other people out there. Because I think a lot of people talk about it. I really want it. I really want it.
Yeah.
When you really want something, it's not words, it's action.
What does really want it look like for you?
Action. Do it.
Show up.
Show up.
Early gym, get the shit done, show up, lead from the front.
Hands on. Hands on.
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
You do work 7 days a week?
Yeah. I don't work a single day of the week.
Yeah, you're living, bro.
I'm just living.
I love that. Wealth management principles. Have you got anything around that?
Yes. Wealth is multi-generational. Depending on where you're coming from. Okay. Depending on what class. Man, this is so controversial. Depending on what class of people you come from. Wealth is more than just money. Wealth is also education, family morals. No matter how much money you make in one generation, it could go instantly when it's passed on to your kids. That alone should tell you something. Okay? So when you know wealth is multi-generational and you factor in actually how much, dollar value, how much is that in terms of importance? How important is it? Probably not so much. It's more time and more education. That's more important in terms of wealth management and wealth generation. And the whole house thing, highly leveraging yourself, buying a whole bunch of shitty rentals. If it's on YouTube, it's not real. It's not real. You ask any broker, I always talk about this. You ask any broker that sells mortgages, and you're like, how many houses do you own? And they're like, 1. I'm like, why? Why do you sell mortgages to everyone? Tell people to max out their mortgages and buy a whole bunch of shitty rentals then. And they're like, oh, but
it's business.
It's business though. They just want the sale, right?
Yeah, fuck. Yeah. Okay. So now that you're expanding that, you're going through that, do you have just one home now that you live in Auckland there? Like you've just set up this beautiful home. I think I saw it in your pictures, potentially like 2-story place.
Mm-hmm. Look, with property, for me, where I am, because it's going to be different for everyone, right? I use it as a form of insurance. So it's like, these are quite complex questions.
Yeah.
So one of the things that when you start to want to buy things, and so you should, if you're worried hard, you should want to buy things.
Like flashy cars and things like that.
When you borrow money, right, and you have then rich dad, poor dad, you don't have to explain to people where the money came from. Like if tax ID was calling you, and you're like, oh man, where'd that 500,000 come from? You're like, oh, here's the loan. The conversation ends.
Yeah.
Right. So property for me is just a leveraging tool for me to, I guess, if I had cash, I'd put into property. I have a business that highly cash flows, and I'd refinance. And
so that's the good debt he talks about?
Yeah. And I'd use the cash from the refinance to either expand or buy dumb things.
What's the best dumb thing you've bought so far?
the best dumb thing. I'm a big Ferrari guy.
Is that what you've got that at the moment? Yeah.
Yeah, I have Ferrari now.
Yeah.
Because how personal it is to me. I remember growing up as a kid, like the F355, F430, some of these Ferraris as kids, I played with them as toys, and it's so personal for me. So for me, buying the first, that on par with buying the first kind of big family home. These two. But the family home isn't dumb, is it?
No.
Yeah.
It's like a place for you to be safe and your kid. And all that.
Yeah. So, it's the first time I bought like a really expensive exotic car. Fuck, I think I cried. I was like, holy shit. Wow, it took a while. Holy shit, yeah.
How old were you when you bought it?
My first, like, high-end car, exotic, probably like 24.
Yep. Shit, they're still pretty young.
Yeah. I couldn't afford it, but
yeah.
But I still bought it.
Bro, I know I'm going to cry when I get mine.
Yeah.
But I never wanted a car until I fucking sat in one. I sat in a McLaren a couple of years back, and I didn't think I'd fit. I fit in there pretty nicely.
Yeah.
And I sat in it, and I was like, damn.
It's fun.
It was the feeling. I couldn't care less about, I bought an expensive car. It was just how it made me feel.
Yes.
And to see everyone else's faces light up and be like, oh my God, how cool is that? It's on the sunny coast.
Yeah.
It was with a young lad that I got on the podcast, Jason McInnes, who's incredible with like Bitcoin and crypto. You know, he's done really well at a very young age.
Yeah.
And when I sat in that, and then I had another one with a mate for his 40th, went in that. And now I had Michael Mojo the other day. He's got one. And I'm seeing them, and I see your car, which is a Ferrari.
I have an 812.
Yeah.
Fast,
Yeah. So I see these things, and I used to think, I don't need that shit. Now I'm like, no, I need that shit. Like, I just know the feeling that comes with it. And it's going to be so special.
It's all about the experiences. So for me, I very rarely drive any of my cars, right? Like, for me, it's like, it takes some planning because it's like a boat, man. And then it's sunny. I'm gonna take my daughter out. We're gonna go here, and it's like it's an experience, right? And they're actually a lot more affordable than most people think.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. And has it given you benefits by having it as well?
Yes, I've been able to meet lots of interesting people, especially Ferrari. I'm going to talk about it specifically. Ferrari is different, I think, to some of the other brands. There's a lot more prestige, and especially Ferrari. It's less about the car and more about the culture behind it, the people around it. You don't see a lot of Ferrari guys at car meets, whatever. When it's a sunny day, they're either with their family or they're on the boat.
So that tells you a bit about them. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I like that. What about some innovation in business? What are some things that you do to stay ahead of the curve?
I like to talk to young people.
See what's happening.
It sounds cringe because it's like I'm spin from Kanye's mouth, but like they're the ones with all the ideas, and they're the ones that are going to say yes to everything. It doesn't mean I listen to everything they say, but I surround myself with young people, and there's ideas bounce around, and we work together, so that's a lot of fun. Or I surround myself with older people, and I give them the ideas, the innovative ideas these young guys give me, and these older guys around 50, 60, are like, oh, that's a great idea. I try not to be around too many people my age.
Yep. Why is that?
I like the negativity, and I look for it sometimes. We talk about friction, right? I look for friction. That's one of the gauges I use in terms of the moves that I make. When there's a lot of friction, I realize it's most likely a good move. But you can't be around it all the time, right? It is draining.
Yeah, I feel that. What's like the impact of culture on entrepreneurship? Like being where you are and how much your business influences the culture in your area. Do you feel like you're able to have a bigger impact than just being the business? Like Sumthin Dumplin obviously produces great food and everything, but do you feel like you've had an impact on the greater area where you are?
I have already, but it's just beginning. Sumthin Dumplin is just the foundation of what I want to do in my life. I don't think my career has started yet.
Fuck, it's wild you say that, bro, because I see that. As I said to you today, it's like as soon as I reached out to you, you just started existing. It was like, where the hell did this guy come from? And then all of a sudden, fucking video after video, I see you hanging out with like Samo and Sephra and all these boys, and it's like, damn, who is this guy? So I agree. It's like something has just been like initiated in the universe, and you're about to take off. What's the ultimate goal of that? You know, becoming a bit of a personality within your community.
Yeah, I want to be at a leadership position at a national, or I'm not going to limit myself, maybe even international level.
Beautiful.
Not money related, not financial related, just a leadership position. And I want to have an impact on the social working class. I'm actually very liberal.
Yeah. I can see the emotion it brings up in your body too. Yeah. What's a couple of things you really want to change? I'm going to keep it really simple. I want to tell young guys and girls in the working class, irrelevant of color, you are not dumb, but you are uneducated. But that's something we can change. You can get an education, but you are not dumb. Don't let anyone tell you you're dumb. You're not dumb. That's number one. Number two is I believe in equal opportunity for everybody. I am not a believer of equal results as such, but I believe everyone should have equal opportunity. The political system in the world is very complex and very wild, and I do feel like a lot of people want to protect what they already have. But I am a working class man. I will never betray that. And you're ready for change. I think the people are too, which is really cool, man. Like, I see that happening here, just up north in a place called Mackay, North Queensland. One of the young lads who's well known by a lot of the boys I know there has just put his hand up for Parliament. Wow. He's a barber. He owns a barber shop. Fantastic. And he's going, fuck this. I'm ready to really challenge it, right? And because the community loves him, he's probably going to get voted in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and we're having our elections tomorrow here. Wow. Literally happening tomorrow. What's his name? I can't remember, bro. I'd have to look. I'll show you after this. Shout out to you, though. I just want to say, well done. Keep going. I'm going to look for you, and I'm going to take inspiration from your work. Ooh, yes. Yeah. Can you take note of that, baby? I'm going to look for you. Yeah, he's awesome dude, bro. Just like one of the boys, tatted up, all the things. And he's just like, fuck this. I want to like really make that change. And I think a lot of people have talked about it before. It's like, oh, it's so hard to get in because it's like old money and all the old politics. It's like, bro, we're about to take over. I see the shift in the community. I see the shift in the culture. Old money. Old. Yeah. I understand. The biggest thing I think old, fair, new is our new ability to think. There has been a few generations of us that can speak, but now there's a lot of young guys that are thinking, and that's very scary. We talked a bit about thinking before and what it actually means. And for anyone listening, it's like there's so many people now that can absorb information, but then just regurgitate it the same way. They don't take the information in, be discerning with it, and create their own beliefs and thoughts of it. Process it. 100%, bro. It's what Mojo said the other day. It's like you got these people just reading like fucking Resilience Project and then just going and, you know, I share stuff from books sometimes, but I put my own spin on it too. Yeah. It's like I'm reading The Mountain Is You at the moment, which is about self-sabotage and everything. I fucking love it. Yeah. But I'm indicating how that's impacted my life and how I'm going to change it moving forward so people can make that relevant for their own life, which is what you've done really well today, bro, with your story, your wisdom and everything you've shared. You've made it really like capable, if that makes sense. People are hearing it going, fuck yeah, maybe this is possible for me to do it. Look what Shane's created. I was saying it before with like, me being on social more, right? Like, I think people like it because I suck. And like, oh shit, he sucks, but he's trying. Like, I think I could try too. I'm like, yeah, you can. Yeah. Shot. Do you, I think that's the beauty of it though, is that you're willing to try anything. I can tell you're willing to just do it. You know, you're willing to fly to fucking Australia to jump on a podcast you have no idea about. It's been awesome. Yeah, I'm going to learn now the breathwork thing and bro, wait till I take you deeper on that. But this is the thing. And for anyone listening, I was talking to Shane in the car about like holotropic breathwork, going deeper. Most people I tell it about, they're a bit tentative. They're like, oh, what the hell? Shane was like, fuck yeah, let's go. when can we do it? So that was really cool. Perfect, bro. Now I've got your quick fire questions.
Go.
I'm just going to smash these out for you. For again, usually people can use this, 10, 15 minutes to just get bulk value from it.
Yeah.
What's a common financial myth you wish people knew the truth about?
Common financial myth. I think it goes back to that. A home is the people, not the house that you live in. Don't buy houses to build a home. Buy houses with purpose. That's all there is to it.
Beautiful. Yeah. Can you share a personal story of a mindset shift that helped you overcome a major challenge?
Have a better relationship with pain. It's good for you.
Fuck. Yeah, I agree. Something that's just been recently brought to my attention. Success is in the suffering. Because we're going to suffer most times in business, right?
It's fun.
I agree. What's one piece of advice you'd give someone looking to make their first real estate investment?
Don't live in it. Rent it out.
And work your ass off to get the money to do it. Mm-hmm. In your experience, what's a key factor that makes or breaks a new business?
It's going to have to just be you. There is no such thing as X factor in business other than the operator. You are the X factor. If you suck, you suck. It's not going to work out.
Everyone else around you is going to suck.
Yeah.
Cool. What's one innovative business idea that you're thinking about that's going to change the market in the next few years?
I understand that attention is a currency that hasn't been fully capitalized on yet. So I am now building, I guess to some degree, a tech company that creates a culture of creating, B, holding attention and awareness. Money itself, be it digital currency or physical currency, is always just going to be a placeholder for time, right? A placeholder of real assets, real value, right? I don't care so much about the term money in any currency, digital or physical, but something you could trade currency for is awareness in the future.
What's your thoughts about AI at the moment with business?
I don't know how to use it myself personally, but I can see that it's going to replace a lot of jobs, but there's going to be a market for things that are non-AI.
I actually see that too. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm scared the robot's taking over. It's like, nah, a lot of nostalgic stuff's coming back. Yeah. A lot of old school in-person experiences are actually starting to fire up again. So I think exactly that. It's probably going to go the opposite way with a lot of businesses. Do you think with your business it's going to go more like in-person experience stuff?
People always ask me to machine process my production line. And potentially, if I get large enough, that is an option, but I will keep it as personal as possible. My biological father, is an oil painter. And something he's always stuck with me is he's always said, the most picture-perfect paintings are actually scary and eerie. Beautiful paintings are full of flaws.
Oh. Damn, man, I love that. Do you remember how long ago he said that? Were you real young?
Very young.
And that's never left you? That's just implanted in my brain now too. Fuck it. That's probably why there's so much beauty in the pain. Because we grow, right? Okay.
Beautiful things are full of flaws.
Yeah.
And when something is picture perfect, if you saw a picture perfect person standing there right now, it'd be pretty fucking scary, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? The way he stands, even just perfect, right? It just looked like a vampire. It'd just be creepy. Yeah.
Damn, and it's like in this social media aspect, that now probably why you said, like, you calling yourself, like, saying you suck showing up, but the imperfection is what makes it so awesome.
I think so.
And dude, I'm the same. I'm trying new shit all the time, and a lot of the time my videos are fuck ups, and a lot of the time my podcast, I don't edit anything. I just press record and then see how it goes. I know when I started, I'd like forget to press record or something like that, and it's just like, oh well, put it out. So, and then there's a term that I keyed for myself last year was I love failing, and what it is for me, fail is fast action ignites learning. FAIL.
That's a great term.
Man, I love it. It's the only way I've gotten to where I am today.
Great term.
I love failing because I'm learning every time.
Do you still feel negative when you fail?
Fuck, man, if I'm not failing, I'm not moving forward.
That's when you start to feel mentally ill, right? When I'm not making mistakes now, I start to feel mentally ill, you know?
Like the other day I realized I have too many clients. Who would think that that's an issue? It's an issue for me because I now don't have time. I'm trading my time for, like I could have group programs and things like this, but I don't have time to create that. So I'm stuck in my own business. I've created a block as much as I'm helping people right now. So in that failure though, and the overwhelm that's come from that, I've expanded. The idea came to me what I need to do next. So it was perfect. How do you keep your mind sharp with everything that's happening in your life?
I tell everybody that I'm hardcore. Most people don't quite comprehend what hardcore means. I'm all go every day. The moment I wake up, I can train twice a day. I can work in the stores. I can do my deals. I'm in the car driving. I'm on the phone nonstop. I'm with my kid. I pick up. I drop off. I do everything. I think the fact that I keep this momentum going, that is how I stay sharp. I'm constantly doing. When I do take breaks, it's harder for me to get going again. So once I build momentum, I just keep going. I don't ever feel tired.
Damn. Even with like 2 or 3 hours sleep?
Yeah.
What's your comment? How much sleep would you get normally?
Oh, good night rest, bro. 5.
Damn, I'm about the same.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have more energy today compared to when you were like, let's say, 21?
Fucking oath.
You do, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yep.
We talked about this the other day where it's like when you're living your love, so you're in love, which is, I think I said this to you before, where it's like when people try to find their passion or purpose and then it gets hard, they go, fuck this, maybe this isn't my purpose. It's like, no, you find things that you love. I love helping people. I love podcasting. So whatever comes with that is fine. Like I don't have a whole day today, technically, to be doing a whole day podcast. But I wanted to spend the day with you guys and show you around and have a good time. So I just fucking do it. Tomorrow I make up for that time. But people can't seem to fathom that. They're like, what do you mean by that? Like, well, I think we get so programmed by schooling, obviously, where it's like show up to a 9 to 5. You know, 9 till 3 o'clock. Bell goes, go home, watch some cartoons, do some homework, go to bed.
But I'm going to challenge you on this. I think it's actually good for a lot of people, 9 to 5s. People can do really well and be really happy with 9 to 5 today. Today.
Agreed, yes.
Today.
Yeah, because it's like I used to when I first started this, I was talking shit about the system, right? It's like, fuck the system, fuck the matrix. It's like, we are the matrix, and without the system, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Right? So I've got so much love for it now. My partner's a teacher. So, and what you said before, I got fucking emotional, bro, because when that kid said his teacher's his hero, I know so many kids.
Take your time.
I know how many people, like kids, look up to her.
Yeah.
I see how much passion she has for what she does, bro. And you have these people that talk shit about teachers, and it's like, it's not their fault. They're doing the best they can with the system that's been provided for them. And I know she cares so much about what she does, and yet she's hindered by all these red flags in what she actually does. So she's doing the best she can. And she's changing lives. Like, kids literally give her presents and shit all the time. Like, she's a music teacher. Music changes lives. Music, vibrations, like frequency, it all fucking changes you on a DNA level. That's why she does sound healing. Like, sound healing is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And that's why I support her in it. Like, it sucks, man, because you're right. There's so much beauty in everything that we are in that so many people complain about, but we don't look for it.
Dude, like, when you, let's say you have a partner, you have 3 kids, and you both have 9 to 5 jobs, whether it's in the commercial sector or public or education, whatever it may be, you get paid enough to be able to afford your own home. You can go on holiday a few times a year. get to like actually be truly present with your kids. Because I try, but I'm not always present. You know,
Yeah.
Dude, it's a pretty good life.
Fuck yeah.
I'm probably the more retarded one. we're probably the more retarded one, right?
I have to agree, man. Yeah, like, and this is the thing, though, man. Like, I keep trying to tell myself I'd be happy with, $300,000 a year. That's more than enough to live a good life, right?
100%.
But I know that's not what's for me. I know I'm going to be someone who actually needs millions of dollars to make the impact that I'm here for in this world.
Correct.
To build a foundation.
Correct.
To build a hub, like I was talking before, with all these things. So by me saying, I'd be happy with a few $100,000, I'm actually not showing up and doing what I need to for the purpose that I'm here for. And that hurts sometimes, bro, because it's a lot of fucking work.
Bro, you might only ever pay yourself $300,000 a year, right? But have you noticed that quite common millions of dollars cash flow through people with good hearts? Because they let their money flow to good areas.
Yeah.
To make good impacts in society. So, you know what? You might only take home $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
Which is a lot for a lot of people. But you might actually be in the position to control millions of dollars worth of cash flow and really make an impact on
That's
society.
helping the community, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Correct.
Yeah, damn, man. Where were we before that? Appreciate that. That was cool. Like, I know whatever conversations we're having while you're here were things I was supposed to have, because the last month's probably been the hardest time in my business. And I know it's seasonal. I know it won't last.
It's a global recession, mate.
Yeah, bro. We're in it, right? Mm-hmm. And yet there's still multiple people hitting me up for what I do, which is beautiful. And I take it as it comes, man. Like, there's going to be weeks where I'm thinking, fuck, how do I pay my tax bill that's due next week?
Yeah.
Which I have like a $2,000 tax bill due at the start of every month at the moment. Yeah. Because of the money I earned that I didn't know. There was like BAS and all this other shit. But I just take it as it comes, right?
Be careful with what you spend.
Yes.
If you borrow, you don't have to pay tax. If you're careful with what you spend.
These are the things I'm learning, bro. I've got a beautiful accountant who's been my mate for years, and he's really saved me a lot of times. Yeah. But it's just new levels, right? Mm-hmm. New levels of learning, new devils to face. And I'm just doing the best I can, meeting people that I need to meet. Yeah. Dude, I'd love to know, because I'm assuming I can't see the time. We've been going for like an hour and a half. Cool. What are some things for you, my man, that you'd love to leave for the listener? Something that might be happening for you lately, or something moving forward. Impart some wisdom or some advice, whatever you feel necessary.
I'm not sure what the demographic for the podcast.
Picture 20 to 35-year-olds wanting to self-improve. Find their purpose in life. Become healthier.
Once upon a time, I think I was just like the viewer. But it was in an age where there was nothing online as such. It was very, very lonely. Today, you might not know me, which is cool. But you get to see me, you get to hear me, right? Like, we didn't have that when we were growing up. So with this abundance of resource, I can't emphasize more. You can be anyone you want to be. And it goes back to that mantra when I said, like, chances are you are not dumb. You are just uneducated. I'm still uneducated today. Keep educating yourself and keep thinking. There's an absolute... I know for a fact that if you're wanting to self-improve, you're from a class where, you've had to work. Your parents have had to work. There is an absolute subset of people that don't have to work.
Literally.
And the most crazy and scariest thing you can have on them is your ability to speak and to think. So keep thinking, keep speaking.
Thank you, bro. So with what you said before, with your dreams and aspirations, what does 2024 look like for you? What's some things that you want to achieve?
Open a few more stores. A minimum one.
One coming to Australia?
Not Australia yet.
Yeah.
I like to wrap up and finish before I move on to the next thing.
Cool.
So I'll finish New Zealand. I really want to finish it and get it done.
Is there a number of stores that is like finishing for you?
2 more. Okay. One south, one west, and I'm done. It isn't what's stopping me right now is I'm very picky with location.
I was going to say, yeah, the location sounds like a big thing, like foot traffic and everything.
It's the only thing you can't change in a business.
Yeah.
At least in a brick and mortar business.
Yep.
You can change everything else, but the location you cannot move so easily. So I'm very picky. Other than that, I want to spend as much time with my daughter. And I'm very looking forward to furthering my own personal, selfish passions in, like, I guess, car racing. So, yeah. So I want to start that and just do more racing. And I like it.
Amazing. If there's anyone listening, because there's a few podcasters that listen to my podcast and vice versa, are you open to, now that you've done, well, this is probably your first one, right, this year?
Yeah.
Are you wanting to get on a heap more podcasts and just share who you're about and what you're about?
Yeah, man. If it's more, especially if it's more targeted towards, let's say, wealth or money, like more subject driven. Bear in mind, it is only just my opinion. I'm not always right. But yeah, 100%. I want to do more podcasts and talk, and I really enjoy it. I hope that I can be in positions where when we have a podcast, I can not just talk about myself, but give back as well. Like maybe give some back.
Yeah, I love that. And if anyone wants to get smoked by you on Warzone, what's your gamer tag?
The greatness.
So that's where it comes from for your socials?
Yeah. My social name is my Warzone name.
Yeah, sick. Is it PlayStation for you?
I play Control on PC. I'm
Gotcha, PC, yeah.
But I play Control.
Yeah, my gamer tag is LeBron Games 66. Go on, brother. This has been an incredible conversation. Thank you so much. I can't appreciate your presence and time and effort more. And I just know that this podcast is going to go very, very far. So
thank you.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for our amazing producers behind the scenes.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you for the listener. Look, to help out with this and be a part of the movement, make sure you share, tag myself and Shane. And, really, if you're going to put a stake in the ground and say that you want to change the world with us, that's what it takes. Sharing it on your socials, tagging us, getting it out there. If you learn something, please even just reach out and let me know, because that way I know if I'm on the right direction with my guests and what we're talking about, and then we can make an impact on the world as a collective, because that's how it works. Shane and I can't do it by ourselves. We need you guys as a community and as a culture, and that's what Rewire is all about. It's helping rewire mind, body, and soul of our culture, doing what we can to change it forever. So thank you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, ladies. Let's go.
I had a lot of fun, man.